Hey everybody, good morning. So surprise video, mini training. I've started working on this and I know a lot of people have been asking me about this, so I figured I'd do a quick video on it and hopefully we get through this without kids and everything. So we're gonna go quick and yeah. So hormone balancing. So a lot of issues that women have with thyroids, ovaries, getting pregnant, staying pregnant, all comes back to hormone balance. No. Go play. So there's 4 books that I'm pulling from here, primarily. Taming the Dragon Within. This one is all about naturally balancing your cycle. So if your cycle's off, whether too long, too short, definitely recommend getting this book. The link is in the description on where to get these books easily. As far as what you can do diet-wise, the Women's Code, which that one's actually out on loan at the moment, focuses a lot on how to help balance your hormones through your food. And she talks a lot about PCOS syndrome and how the foods you eat, when you eat them, greatly affects your body. So that's a really good reference as well. It Starts with the Egg is also a really good reference. Talks a little bit about diet, also dives into the environmental toxins that throws off our bodies and our hormone balance. It goes into a couple different ways to avoid those toxins, which we're going to talk a little bit about, and it even dives into specific supplements depending upon what you're dealing with. So way too much for me to cover in this short video, but no. If it's something that you are dealing with infertility or wanting to get pregnant and have struggled in the past, definitely a book you should check out as well. The last book is actually Inner Transformations, and this one's all marked up because I use it a lot. These books all work together. When you start diving into them, this one works with cleaning out the junk that's already in your body. So each of these books talk about the crap that is in our body that's built up over the years. This one deals with how to get rid of it naturally and cleaning your organ systems so that your hormones can work. Supplements, extra supplements, how to balance your cycle, and the Women's Code, it's a pink book. It's really cute. Diet. That's your brief synopsis of where I'm pulling these from. So the first step to balancing your hormones, no matter where you're at, if it's your cycle's long, you're having thyroid issues, adrenal issues is another issue a lot of people have with adrenal fatigue, and that goes back to toxin overload, diet. Your body's in constant stress response. It wears your adrenals out. They all work together. You cannot separate these different organs. So the first thing you need to do is eliminate the toxins. There is a free vault that I need to post the link to. I'll add that to the description. Check out the clickable topics in there, and it talks a lot about safe and cleaning, house cleaning, why to live toxin free, and a quick start guide to how to 6 months to toxin free. What are these toxins and why are they important? Okay, these toxins, they wreck our endocrine system. A lot of them mimic some of the hormones, but they don't actually do what the hormones do. So estrogen is a huge one. A lot of these toxins will mimic estrogen, bind to those receptors, but then they don't release. So your body acts like it has an estrogen dominance. You can fix it by getting more progesterone, bring that balance back, and it'll seem to fix the problems, but you still have all these extra toxins. It also backs your liver up. We'll talk a little bit more about that here later. But big ones environmentally that we are around a lot. BPA/plastic or BPA relatives. Hold on. Lively, get out of the net. You can pick through the net. So there's a whole, in this book, there's a whole chapter on BPA. Basically, it's a plastic, it's a known toxin, a known hormonal toxin, endocrine disruptor. They've eliminated it from kids' products and baby products, still in our adult stuff though. No. How to avoid it. Switch to glass or stainless steel is honestly your biggest thing. So, most of my cups are stainless steel or glass. We don't have a lot of plastic. Thank you. Go play. Don't do that. Okay. Phthalates is another big one that this book talks about a lot. So I'm just going to touch on the two big toxins that were around environmentally. These are usually in highly processed foods and fast food. Why? Because it's not actually in the food itself. It comes from the containers that they're processed in. So the phthalates... Lively! No! The phthalates, when plastic is heated, it's another thing in plastic, they're heated to high temperatures and those start to leach, and they leach into the food. Fast food is really bad about it. Highly processed foods are also bad because most of the commercial industry are hard plastic that has the phthalates in them. When they're heated at the high temperatures, to clean them and sterilize them, it starts to break down the plastic, the phthalates release, get into your food, and then you consume them. Fantastic, right? How do you avoid them? Avoid highly processed fast food. Highly processed and fast food. Just minimizing your exposure to maybe one time a week eating out instead of a lot of meals greatly cuts this down. Other things to be aware of are products that are around us every day. Fragrance is a huge one. There is stuff in your makeup, in your lotion, and this vault of information covers a lot of this. So I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to let you guys go look for it and just read it because it's a ton of information to take in. But yeah, in your makeup, in your lotions, in your shampoos, in your soaps, there's endocrine disruptors in every one of those. So you be aware of them. Switch to safer products. That's really all it is. I love my Young Living products because they are toxin free. It's also my easy button. I order all of our soaps, shampoos, conditioner. I make my own lotion, but I know they're toxin free and they're safe. Balance your hormones, okay? So now that we've eliminated the toxins coming into our bodies, now how do we start balancing those hormones, right? First, get rid of the ones that are built up, okay? The primary elimination systems are going to be your do not get in again. Sorry. Your primary elimination systems are going to be your colon, number one. If your colon is sluggish, go that way with it. Not this way, that way. If your colon is sluggish, it is going to, a lot of those toxins and unused hormones are going to reabsorb, okay? So you gotta make sure your colon's actually moving the way it should. The other one, your liver. So your liver works to filter your blood, right? It filters out all the unused hormones. If it's not actually filtering correctly, you're getting a buildup of hormones, which then triggers your thyroid, your adrenals to say, hey, we've got like extra stuff here, don't produce as much, and then it doesn't work as well, okay? That's the short stories of those. What you can do, this book talks about a colon cleanse. I highly recommend it. Helps clear out the junk. After that, then it goes through the different systems. You always start with a colon, because if that's not moving, it doesn't matter what else you're clearing out. It's your body's not actually getting rid of it. So colon, and it goes into the liver. I highly recommend those two. So that's the first step. Number 2, balance your blood sugar. Who's guilty? I used to do this all the time. I don't eat breakfast. Well, or if I did, like it was something quick on my way out the door driving to work, right? Who does it? I think we all do at some point in our life. What's the problem with that? Your sugar is low in the morning, right? And then by the time you finally eat, it's lunchtime when you eat something of actual value, right? So then all of a sudden you have this influx of nutrition, and a lot of times it's not the greatest food either. And you have this blood sugar spike, and then you crash. You're tired after lunch because your body has been in fast mode, and all of a sudden you load it with nutrients, and it's like, now I'm just tired, because it's trying to deal with all that food you just gave it, okay? Solution, eat breakfast. Always make sure you're getting proteins, and the Women's Code book talks about this a lot, about when to eat the certain foods to balance that blood sugar, so you don't have these. That blood sugar up-down roller coaster affects your adrenals. It puts stress on your body. Releases more cortisol, which shuts down a lot of your thyroid function, because cortisol is a stress response. Great if you're fleeing from a tiger, right? Cortisol and adrenaline. Not so great when you're just trying to get through your day, okay? Also slows down your digestion when those hormones are high. So, eliminate that. Is your body toxic? Okay? This one, we'll just read a couple of them for you. So, you get stomach, butterfly cramps, eyes or nose watery, eyelids swollen or puffy, indigestion, always hungry, lightheaded often. Those two go hand in hand with blood sugar. And yeast, excessive appetite, hungry between meals, irritable before meals. You get shaky, fatigue, urine is decreased, cold sweats, sour stomach, acid foods upset your stomach, and a lot of this goes into yeast overgrowth, okay? Heart palpitations if your meal is delayed, moody, depressed, crave sweets, crave salty foods, you sigh frequently, swollen ankles, you bruise easily. No. Go play with your bulldozer. Dizzy, dry skin, burning feet, blurred vision, thinning hair, a metallic taste in your mouth, nausea, headache, greasy foods upset your stomach. This goes back to liver and colon and gallbladder. Greasy stools, extremely loose stools, that's your colon issues. You need laxatives, gallstones, bad breath. That has to do with yeast overgrowth usually. A coated tongue, also yeast. Stomach bloat, yeast, insomnia. Excuse me. Nervous, you can't lose weight, you have a decrease in appetite. Mental sluggishness, forgetfulness, frequent urination. Decreased sex drive, abnormally thirsty. This has to do with your adrenals in there. Ulcers, high blood pressure, chronic fatigue, suicidal thoughts. A lot of that is adrenal issues. Arthritis, brown spots on your skin, red moles, allergies, acne, ringing in the ears, distended abdomen. That's again your bloating, digestive system off. You're drowsy, a weakened immune system, Your body's been in overdrive too long. It crashes your immune system. Itchy skin, excessive falling hair, anemia. Oh, there we go. There's a supplement called Thyromin that targets specifically feeding the thyroid and giving it the nutrition that it needs to function better. Iodine. If you are low in iodine, quick way to do that, get a liquid iodine patch, put it on your stomach, like a 2-inch square. If it's gone, and I think it's like an hour, you need more iodine. You're low on iodine. Things that can block your iodine: fluoride, chlorine, bromine. All of these compete for iodine receptors. What they do is they get in there, they bind to the receptors for iodine in the thyroid, but then they don't let go. They don't function as iodine. They're close enough that they can bind, but not close enough that they can get off. And then your thyroid suffers because it's not able to absorb the iodine it needs to function. Where do we see fluoride? Our toothpaste. If you're in town, a lot of times your water. Chlorine. It's pool season. Bromine is around us as well. Like, these are things we can't usually control unless get a water filter. Is the best way to get a lot of that stuff out of your water. That way you're not drinking in it. Give your thyroid a break there. Adrenals. A lot of people suffer from adrenal fatigue. Basically, it's your adrenals are in overdrive for way too long, and it just stops working the way it should. Crashes everything else. Biggest thing to do, break the stress cycle. It's easier said than done, I know. I'm a mom on a farm. It's a lot easier said than done to break that stress cycle. You can do it physically. Take up yoga. That's something I'm starting to look into more. It's just something relaxing to do. Do something that helps you relax. I used to do it, ride horses was my way to relax. I can't do that as much anymore, so I'm starting to look into yoga more. To physically break the cycle of cortisol in your body, you can take a supplement called Cortistop. You do have to cycle that one in and out. You do not want to take that one all the time, but it basically helps your body get rid of the extra cortisol so your adrenals catch that break and they catch up again. Feed your adrenals. B vitamins, especially B6, are huge for your adrenals. Nutmeg and clove also really, really help your adrenals function better. And that's pretty much it. Making sure your progesterone is where it's supposed to be, especially if you're looking at getting pregnant, or have had issues getting pregnant in the past, or know you have hormonal issues. It is well worth getting a blood panel that checks your hormones, and not just at one point in your cycle. A lot of women will have it taken at one point, and they may be within normal, but depending on where you are in your cycle, whether that's actually normal or not. You need really one that does the entire, at least probably 4 times a week. I don't know how frequently it actually is, but test your hormone levels throughout your entire cycle. Yes, it's a lot of blood draws. Yes, it's a lot of lab work. But if you are truly having issues getting pregnant, knowing which hormones are off is huge in figuring that out and helping you to rebalance so that you can get pregnant and then carry that pregnancy. So that's my quick tips, and eventually I will get this all written out for you all. But for now, that's what I've got. We'll talk to you all later.